Alright, we now come to the most juicy and the most useful section of this course. If you've got no experience with cold calling, I'm going to now break down the structure of a cold call, and I'm going to give you some tips that will save you hours and hours of pain. Pain that you would have to learn yourself through trial and error, like I had to, across thousands and thousands of cold calls. Okay? I've learned this through trial and error and natural intuition, and you're now going to get it for whatever price you just paid for this course. Okay? I'm going to use my fake phone here, and I'm going to be pretending to do a little call and show you which sections of the cold call you need to be thinking about and how you actually structure it. So, first, one thing you need to get straight is what the purpose of your call is. Before you even pick up the phone, you need to know why you're calling that person. Okay? You should have a niche by now that you're going to call. You should have a service you want to sell. Reinforce it in your mind before you pick up the phone. I'm calling this person because I want to sell them X, and I am the right person. Okay, so you're doing your mantras. But you need to reinforce it in your mind before you pick up the phone. The reason I'm calling this person is X, because you don't want to be on the phone with someone and then forget why you're actually calling them, and then say, so what are you doing? And then you start making it up on the fly. I guarantee you'll end up selling something that you don't want to sell. Okay? I've done that. That's from experience. So before you pick up the phone, reinforce in your mind, why am I calling this person? And also get straight in your mind the purpose of the call. The purpose of a cold call is not to sell someone directly on the phone. Yes, it can happen. I was sat on a balcony in Austria once, and I called someone out of the blue, an antique dealer, and by the end of the phone call, we spent 30 minutes on the phone. By the end of the phone call, he'd already asked for my bank details, and he had paid me on the call. He turned out to be a very difficult customer, though. So, it's not all great. But that does happen, okay? So you can sell directly on the phone. In my opinion, after more than 30,000 dials and more than that approaches on the street, okay? The purpose of a cold call is not to make the sale on the phone. It is to introduce yourself, find out if they have a problem, and present yourself as the solution so that you can contact them again. Okay? It's to break the ice and introduce yourself. So, before the call, reinforce. This is why I'm calling them. I'm trying to sell them X. Okay? Reinforce in your mind, I just need to introduce myself to them and get them to say I can contact them again. Okay? Now, cold call. So dial. You got it up on your CRM. You've seen, so if you're selling websites like me, you got their website up on the CRM, and you've got their profile here, the timeline. You should say never called before, because this is a cold call, okay, or never answered before. Okay. Ring, 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 ring. The first 10 seconds of a cold call are extremely important. You'll hear a lot of people talking about mirroring on a cold call. And what that basically is if someone answers the phone and they say, hello, you don't go, hello. You lower your voice a bit. And if they say, hello, you say, hello, is this such and such, if you know their name. My name's Alex. I'm calling because I make websites. Do you need any help with yours? Okay? So the first 10 seconds is where they're going to decide, honestly, by the tone of your voice, if they actually want to carry on. That will get you through to the next stage. So, it's not about copying them directly, but if someone answers the phone like this, you need to talk a bit quicker. If someone answers the phone like this, you need to talk a bit slower and lower. Okay? It's just about modulating your voice slightly. Okay? I'm actually going to put the phone down. He hung up on me, how rude. So you modulate your voice in the first 10 seconds. The next thing I'm about to say to you is incredibly important. People don't like being on cold calls if they've sat on the phone with you for 2 minutes and you've waffled Hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Who is this? Oh yeah, that's great to hear. I'm all right, thanks. Ha ha ha. If you've done small talk with me and then I find out this is a cold call, I'll instantly hang up on you without even saying goodbye. Get to the point. So you've got the first 10 seconds, which is like you're modulating your voice, and this is your opportunity to get to the point. Ring, ring. Hi there, I make websites. I'm a website developer in London. Do you need any help with your website? It's direct, it's to the point, it's friendly, you're clearly respecting their time. That will put you on a much better footing than if you waffle or you stutter a bit or you let them take charge. What you want to do is you want to get your question out there. You've already looked them up. You already know who they are. Yeah? You're calling them because you know they're your target customer. You want to tell them why you're calling in the first 10 seconds of the call, and then let them decide if now is the right time or if now is not the right time. If you modulate your voice, you don't sound like a chav, you sound like a normal person, you can leave it up to them, okay? If they say no, you can then ask them another follow-up question. That's absolutely fine. But be respectful of people's time. Yeah? Don't waffle. Get to the point. Another benefit of this, for you rather than them, is that if you don't waffle and you just ask them and they say no, that's fine. You paid a guy on Fiverr, if you watch the last module, to get you 5,000 leads. 5,000 numbers for 10 quid. You got a lot more to call. You got to get through 100 a day. Okay, no worries. Thanks very much. Goodbye. Ding. Okay, they said no. They said no on the phone. You go to your CRM. You write connected. They said no, and then you set a reminder to call them back in 3 months or 6 months, whatever is best for your business. Okay, it's very important to get to the point. And I'm even waffling now. Okay, I've told you that. Get to the point. Okay. Final thing you do is once you hang up the phone, is you want to take, if they've said yes, you want to take very, very detailed notes. And that's because you're about to call another 50 people and you're not going to remember even speaking to them later. Okay? So the reason you take detailed notes is because your CRM system gets more valuable the more you use it. Okay? So you want to take notes. Let's say you have a conversation with someone, you're selling a website, and you find out that this person, oh yeah, we do have this problem with the website, we were looking to get it built, You need to write down even things like, they were super friendly, they mentioned that Sarah also works at the business. You want to write down things like, who did you speak to, find out their name. I always ask how you spell their name, even if it's something super simple like Sam. I really make sure to understand how they spell their name so that when I get their email address on the same call to contact them later, I can say, hi Sam. Your emails afterwards will be much less effective if you just say, hello, we just spoke on the phone. You spoke to Sam, so it's hi Sam. But sometimes Sam is spelled C-I-A-M or something, right? People have weird spellings and they don't tell you on the phone. And if they correct you, that's a little dip knock against your relationship. So find out how you spelled their name and the exact email and take detailed notes in your CRM. This will help you enormously later. Because I guarantee you just won't even remember talking to them. It's as simple as that. You're going to be calling so many people that you just won't remember talking to them. Let's recap that because this is quite a long one actually. Before you call them, it's very important that you prep yourself. The reason I'm calling them is X. The purpose of the call is to introduce myself and break the ice. First 10 seconds you want to mirror and modulate your voice to reflect how they're talking. This makes them feel more comfortable on the phone. And then you want to very quickly get to the point. This is so you respect your time and you respect their time. Once you have done the call, you want to take very detailed notes. You want to make sure you know exactly who you talk to, who you're going to be talking to, how to talk to them, and how to spell their name. Take detailed notes because if you don't, you will not remember. And that's it. That's the call.